We are defining the role of youth in politics to mean that we need to take over power and lead Nigeria on the path of progress. And I speak from a point of a pact that the Nigerian youth already have with the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari. You may recall that in 2018, the Not Too Young to Run bill was signed into law. And when the president signed that bill or assented to that bill, he stated very clearly that young Nigerians, allow me for 2019, but I assure you, by 2023, I will hand over to a youth. So our role as defined now is to prepare ourselves for power, to take over from the president, to take over from the governors, to take over from the various members of the House of Assembly, of the House of Representatives, of the Senate, and put Nigeria on the path of progress again. We have seen that our leaders have good intentions, but what is the cutting edge of youth? We are ready to learn, and we've got the energy to match all the enemies of our nation tit for tat. If terrorists come, they are young people like us. We will face them whatever it takes. If the enemies of our nation come with all sorts of propaganda, because let's get this very clear. When President Goodluck Jonathan was president, terrorism thrived and flourished. And now, President Buhari is still president, terrorism is thriving and flourishing. It does not mean that these patriots don't have the good intentions of Nigeria at heart. But then there is a fine edge that is missing. And the youth will come from that point, knowing very well what itches and pains the youth, to solve the problem, to address it from the roots, not just only by the use of force, but by the use of diplomacy and by the use of every technique in the book to ensure that the problems of our country, ranging from insecurity to poverty, which are intertwined and self-sustaining or self-building, we are going to ensure that we break that circle of frustration together.
It's youth o'clock across the world, and we are canvassing that it should be youth o'clock in Nigeria, such that come 2023, we have young people manning the affairs of this country. It will be our dream, it is our expectation that come 2023, young person will become the president of Nigeria, young person will become governors, senators, House of Rep, and Houses of Assembly. But this will not come by sitting on social media complaining. This will only happen if the Nigerian youth can take up the challenge, get registered as voters, taking advantage of the INEC continuous voters registration, get registered, belong to a political party, make sure that they register to be a political party member, and campaigning and contesting for an election. Powers are not served a la carte. Definitely, powers are taken. And Nigerian youth must rise up to take this power come 2023 by legal means. And by this legal means, I mean, be a voter, be a party member, aspire for political offices, and Nigerian youth will support ourselves to make sure that come 2023, we have young people manning the affairs of this country. Using this opportunity to further canvass, to ask Nigerian youth to please stop the complaint on social media, stop the street protests. The time for protest is not now. The time for, like what happened during the NSAS, yes, we have shown our strength and what we are capable of doing. But as we move into 2023, what is more paramount now is for us to seize power from the party level. We must get involved. What usually happens is that the Nigerian youth are left with no choice but to pick from the set of leaders that we have, who are now possibly flagging the party tickets. But if we get involved right from the party structure, we will be able to determine who fly the ticket of a political party.
Those category of people in the society that do not have capacity. But if you don't give the youth the opportunity to participate, you will not know that they have the capacity to be able to effectively participate in politics. So, and at the same time, the youth on their own need to gear up, participate. Nothing is for free. You have to participate to a lot of extent, come out and participate. And at the same time, it's when you participate that the elderly, I mean, let me say, use that word, the elderly will be able to know that you actually have the capacity to participate. The youth should not allow themselves to be used as thugs, as ballot box snatchers, but they should actively, when I said actively, they should participate from at primary school, I mean, party level. That's party level. Then from there, they graduate possibly or aspire into political office subsequently.
The youth are ready to take the mantle of leadership, but first of all, we must look at every other areas that constitute leadership. Because if we say the youth are ready to take leadership, we must be at the forefront in oil and gas businesses, maritime business, and even in the media. We must be at the forefront. But if you look at all those businesses, they are still being managed by the elderly people because they have been so solid and they have been in the game and in the business for a very long time. But if we say we want to take over power as youth, we must look at areas like where the economy is being spurred up in the country, because you cannot hold power, you cannot be president as a youth, and those in the maritime and the oil sector are elderly people. You are going to be frustrated out of the office.